Here we are. We are live right now. The Patrick Carr Show. Welcome. What do you got? You making me look bad? You making me look bad? What are you doing?
Making you look better.
Man, Anthony, I'll tell you what. Give somebody an inch, you'll take a mile. I don't know that applies right now. Welcome, everybody. It's Friday. Happy Friday afternoon to everybody out there right now. Happy Friday afternoon. It's the Patrick Carr Show, and we have Anthony back on the show today. Welcome back, bro.
What if I just stay quiet?
Oh, no, don't you do that now. All right. I know everybody, like, where's Anthony? I had somebody ask me today, was he coming back to the show? Is he like left? No, he's been hard. You've been working your butt off, man. You've been doing content left and right.
Dude, just throwing it at me. I'm just hitting what I can, dude.
People don't understand. Like, sometimes we go out and we get a story, right? Mm-hmm. And then you got a couple hours and you're over there editing it and we're delivering it that afternoon. It takes a lot of work to do what you're doing. Because we got to, of course, make it entertaining. We've got to make it factual. We've got to take that B-roll, all the raw footage, and then turn it into something. You're the one doing the research. We got to get you an assistant here soon enough. Tell you what, we need to get, maybe we got a sponsor for the show. We could pay for the assistant that needs to happen over there for you.
Call it Anthony Jr.
Yeah, right. They could sit right over here where the couch is, or the casting couch we seem to have over here. But we literally have a casting couch. Folks who just joined us over there on Instagram, make sure you drop a comment. We try to read them. Anthony's back, so I'll try to read a couple of them. We over on YouTube right now, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's Friday afternoon. So we'd love to hear what is going on over in your neck of the woods, especially if you're right here in Central Florida. We're going to be attempting to bring you some great stories. I've got some good ones here today, and we got some great content, of course, coming back out for you here later this afternoon. Let's dive into exactly everything that we got going on. Anthony, what about AI in schools, brother? Orange County Public Schools now has their first rule book for artificial intelligence in the classroom. It was approved just a couple of days ago. It takes effect when students return on August the 11th. All right, now I'm going to run through this with you in real time, everybody. Here is what the policy does. Teachers set their own AI guidelines for the classroom at the start of the school year, and they must share those guidelines with students and with parents. Students may use AI to do background research on a topic before they start an assignment. Students cannot turn in an AI-produced work for a grade unless a teacher gives written permission for them to do so. Students and staff are limited to AI systems that the district approves. Board member Stephanie Vanos, forgive me, of District 6, says the restriction is meant to protect student data. All right, the vote was not unanimous. Vanos, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, voted against the policy. She said she supports it overall, but it contains no provision letting parents opt their children out of the AI entirely. Interesting perspective right there. The district started drafting AI guidance back in 2025 when it blocked consumer platforms such as ChatGPT from its network, while it studied classroom uses for the app. About 5,800 parents responded to the district survey during this process. Board members say the policy will be revisited at the end of the year, every year, as AI tools change and state guidelines change during that period of time. So, Anthony, we've got our first look at what Orange County is doing about AI. Any initial thoughts that you got right here about how they're policing or using AI in our school systems right now?
I mean, I'm glad that they're not just outright banning it, and they're actually trying to implement it into it, because, I mean, at some point they're gonna be using it regardless. So you gotta kind of work with it and try to figure out a way to kind of make it fair for both parties.
Yeah, I really think at AI, for me, it kind of looks back like the calculator. All right. I mean, when I was going through school, there were certain things you weren't allowed to do with a calculator. Mm-hmm. And then the teacher would always tell you, well, there might be a time that you don't have a calculator. Well, boy, was she wrong. All right. And I look at AI that way. I think that everyone is very nervous to apply AI or to allow students to use it, but they're going to use it in every other aspect of their life. So why not try to implement policies that are going to allow students to learn and formulate their own ideas with the help of AI, like the calculator gave so many of us help who are above 35. And we used to hear this from teachers all the time when they didn't want you to use a calculator. They wanted you to do that long math and calculus, right?
Yeah.
And I think that this is not going to stop. The idea that at any time a student that's in high school right now is not going to have access to AI in the future is, well, it's a false narrative. It's a fable. You're going to have access to this stuff. And I think that I'm happy to see Orange County is adapting, because it's going to take a little longer for school systems to adapt. I mean, we're not using textbooks that long ago. And how many books do you use in your everyday life if you own a business? None. All right. Unless, obviously, I'm not talking about reading, I'm talking about for learning. It takes schools a few years to catch up with what is happening in the real world. But this is a step in the right direction to put policies in place that at least allow the AI to enter into the classroom and put guidelines around it for how it can be used. I think the concern is that you're going to feed the AI whatever the assignment is, and then that AI is going to feed back out the answer, and someone's going to turn that in without learning the material. That, to me, is where it becomes a detriment, because for AI and for us as a society continue to improve and get better, and I don't know, just have baseline conversations with one another that make sense, where we can't rely on AI, because what it does is it learns from the input that we give it. That's what AI is doing. It's using us and our information as a reference. So if you want to be able to speak intelligently with AI and to get those answers that you're looking for, you need to be able to understand what kind of questions to ask. You need to be able to understand how to prompt that AI. If you don't know anything about anything because you never learned, how are you going to ask it the right questions about World War II? How are you going to discover those things for yourself, if that was what the topic was that you were interested in? I think that it's a step in the right direction, and I hope that they continue to look at this closely so that school systems don't fall further behind. This, to me, is, one of those deals a lot like data centers, and everyone, oh, Patrick likes data centers. Last night I was at dinner, and everyone, oh, you like data centers? You terrible person! You're going to kill the environment. They weren't like that, but people are not for data centers, and I am. People, why? How? What's the alternative? Is what I've said. And so there isn't an alternative that I've heard somebody present to me that is going to be able to present the opportunities that data centers have. Now, let me bring this full circle for you. If you don't like AI, it's not going anywhere, and other people are going to be using it. I want to see Orange County and Florida, I want to see you prepare students for the world that they're going to enter into. And so the more AI we can get familiar with, the more that teachers can allow them to explore this stuff, and we can use it in a responsible way that gives us a better access to information, that we're able to dissect information quicker, the more that students can learn and the more opportunities will be given in front of them. Positive stuff right there. I'm going to take the approach here, or I'm going to take the opinion here, Anthony. I like what Orange County is doing because it's a step in the right direction here. I love this.
Yeah. And definitely feel like it's good to at least introduce AI to like these kids and just try to figure out a way that because in the real world, people are going to start using AI. So might as well.
Right. I mean, there's a real advantage to some, but we were just on a meeting, I don't know, about an hour ago. Great client we picked up over in Tampa. Okay. Badass dudes. All right. Shout out to Jason, Nick, if they're listening right now. Just great guys, great business, providing an awesome service over there. And we were talking about Claude as we began the meeting, and they're integrating that so heavily into what they're doing and how they look at their business. And it makes me think how much they would pay, or how much they'd be willing to, let's say, a consultant fee to bring somebody in who's like a young cat who is just a Claude expert, right? And can help them to understand that AI and how powerful it is to help their business. There's a real opportunity right there that wasn't there 5 years ago. And that's why I think when I hear this bleak stuff about how AI is going to take everybody's job, I go, whoa. This is a great example. Just this morning, a job has been created that wasn't there 5 years ago. And yes, there have been jobs that have been lost, but we also have to look at the creation that AI is going to put in front of us right now. And the question you have to ask yourself is one that, do we believe that the good outweighs the bad? Do you believe there might be more jobs that are created, or are people going to, I don't know, be left like, what is that movie where the people just suck on that slurp and they just sit like in a chair? And I don't know, like I don't know the name of this. It's like the future, and everybody has fallen for like being lazy, doing nothing.
Is it like that cartoon, like Wall-E, like that?
Oh, I can't remember the name of this movie, and people are gonna hate me for it. I can't remember the name of the everyone drinks like one drink because they've been told by the government and by
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I know, right? That's what I feel like sometimes we could be going into unless people like continue to learn and we continue to evolve. And so I look at this and I think there are definitely, or I guess where I was going with it is that do you believe we're going to turn into idiocracy and we're just going to have, basically be lazy screw ups? Or is AI going to allow us to continue to innovate into new jobs? We're going to be more productive and the future looks bright. Mm-hmm. I think there are people on both sides of the aisle that have a solid point. But what we can agree on, Orange County Schools is doing the right thing by allowing AI into the classroom and putting some guidelines around it.
Yeah. Oh, man, you need to go back to that chamber.
I need to go back to that chamber from this morning alive. Bro, those people get it. Man, Jason, his crew over there. I felt lighter. Felt good. All right, what do we got? Story number 2 today, everybody. If you live around Orange County, we got a mayor race. That's why I try to drink this stuff, man. Can you just fill it in for me or something? Fill in. We got a mayor race in Orange County.
There's a mayor race.
Thank you. You crushed it, bro. Orange County. So Orange County, you're going to be electing a new mayor, not Orlando. Orange County, everybody. I bet half our listeners are just figuring out there's actually a mayor for Orange County. It's not just a city. Kind of unique. Yeah, not a lot of people know that.
My sister-in-law, she's like, wait, there's 2 different mayors? And I was like, oh, yeah, there's Orange County, and then there's Orlando City.
I think it's surprising to a lot of people. Everyone thinks about mayor if you're in Central Florida. If I ask you who's the mayor and you're in Central Florida, everyone's going to say Buddy Dyer. Yeah. Because he's been around since, the beginning of time. But no one thinks about Jerry Demings. Jerry Demings was going to run for governor, and I thought he had an interesting shot there. Definitely has name recognition around Central Florida. Unfortunately, came down with cancer and had to pull out of the race, and I was very sorry to hear that. I've always thought that Jerry Demings had good intentions. Him and his wife, I wish them the best. I made the video months ago. I continue to believe that. He can't run again. Still, again, he was term limited, but still, we know why. He's not moving on with his political career. Anyways, there are 4 candidates, and it is heating up right now, everyone. Orange County picks the new mayor on August the 18th. Okay, so this is only looking at like 3 weeks away, all right? We're not looking at a long time. And there are 4 candidates that are qualified, all right? We got Myra, all right? Uribe. She's going to kill me. Just, come on. Myra, had her on the show. District 3 County Commissioner. Tiffany Moore Russell, Orange County Clerk of Courts. Stephanie Murphy, former United States Congresswoman. And Chris Messina. He's a technology entrepreneur from Winter Park, and he's been on this show as well. Now, they're saying here, as I look at my AI, that the race is nonpartisan, but we know that Orlando and Orange County is a blue county and a blue city. But everybody who is a registered voter can vote in Orange County as long as, you're part of Orange County. If nobody clears 50% on August the 18th, the top 2 go to a November runoff. All right. Now, the candidates are kind of split on a couple of things. As I researched this, it looks like tourist development tax. That's that TDT tax. We all know that Uribe opposes more convention center expansion once current expansion finishes and wants to halt further funding for Visit Orlando. Myra, a woman that, halt this crap for Visit Orlando. Okay, I can't start on that too. I'm going to get excited every time Messina. Chris Messina says tourist tax money must strictly promote tourism that supports supports Visit Orlando only if it shows high returns. Okay, Chris. All right. Well, fair. We want to get rid of it, but fair. Moore Russell wants funding tied to data-backed strategic plans. Murphy wants to work with state lawmakers so the money can be spent on local infrastructure. I believe all 4 of you have some points, as long as all 4 of you understand it's a corrupt organization, and we need to stop funding it in 2028. Stop funding Visit Orlando. It's the biggest one. I'm not doing it, Anthony. I'm not going back on it. And then we have Amendment 3. That is the homestead tax exemption. And Messina says he will vote yes. Moore Russell says no. Murphy says no. Uribe is undecided on the entire thing. Moore Russell resigned her clerk seat back on May the 26th, effective August the 31st, to run. All right, Anthony, here we go. Time I make this a little bit of an announcement here. Listen up, everybody. All right, this announcement, if you follow this show and you know the individual is Tiffany Moore Russell. Tiffany Moore Russell, I will be speaking about you next week on this show. I will be drawing attention to your sorority sister, who you happen to put into a position. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I will be drawing attention to this case. We have acquired a lot of documentation. We will be showing that documentation on this show. Tiffany Moore Russell, in my opinion, you have some questions that need to be answered before August the 18th. This show, like we have done with Visit Orlando, will give everything to our audience and let them decide. We will show you the facts. We are going to show you what has happened, and we are going to show you the relationship that Tiffany Moore Russell has with her former sorority sister, who has a pretty high up gig that she's going for in our government. I'm telling you, Anthony, one of the things that I'm committed to is rooting out corruption. I'm not going to say one way or the other what I think about this until I display all of the facts to Orange County and to Central Florida. But if somebody knows Tiffany Moore Russell, you may want to give her a heads up. We have got a story coming out about her next week before the Orange County mayor race, August the 18th. I'm announcing it right now. We're going to present you with the facts, and then you as an audience, you as a county, you as Floridians will be able to decide for yourself what those facts tell you about Tiffany Moore Russell, former clerk of the court. So give her the memo. I'm sure she's going to love what we have to say.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what, though, Anthony. I've had people that have told me, oh, you're too negative. You know what? You're just bashing people. No. I'm not bashing anybody. What we have done on this show is we've gathered a lot of facts. You know how many, and you know there's a lot of paperwork on this one. Oh, yeah. All right. And I'm going to tell you, it's not an easy thing for me to try to explain next week. I have done weeks of talking to people, research being sent to me, pulling county records. There have been records requests that have been sent to us. We are going to release the data, and we are going to let Orange County decide what they are going to do. Tiffany Moore Russell, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like what I see. Whatever this whole thing is with your sorority sister that has gotten in the way of the government, we're going to be bringing it to light on this show, and our audience is going to be the judge of whether you should be the next mayor of Orange County. I think there's going to be some reservations, Anthony, when people see and hear some of the facts that we have. All right, let's move on here, everybody. I want to talk about home insurance rates in Florida. If you own a home, you might as well just purchase another home with how much you pay for insurance every single year. But the Florida Office of Insurance Regulation, that's OIR, that's right, released its property insurance stability report in July, just a couple of days ago. Average homeowner premiums for traditional policies, including wind coverage, went down in 51 of Florida's 67 counties compared to the January report. The statewide average premium is now $3,757. Now, location is almost everything in this report. Monroe County is the highest at 7,863. Palm Beach at 6,323. Broward, just over 6,100. Miami-Dade, I thought they'd be higher, only 5,900. Martin at 5,900. On the low end, you've got Sumter. What a big difference, 2,100. Marion, about 2,200. Wakulla, I can never pronounce it. Wakulla at 2,300. Since 2024, 44 insurance have filed for rate decreases and 48 have filed for 0% changes. The state's current 30-day average rate request is negative 6.9%. Regulators approved an 8.7% average statewide decrease for Citizens Property Insurance, with more than 330,000 policyholders across 67 counties seeing reductions. Broward averages 14.1% across 27,000 homes. Miami-Dade averages 14% across 42,000. Palm Beach, 11.9% over 26,000 homes. Now, I want to talk about something else. Rate decreases take effect at your policy renewal date starting in spring of 2026. There are no automatic mid-policy savings. If your renewal is in November, you still got to wait until November. I don't care if it's going to be 1% or 3%. Any kind of reduction of premiums in the state of Florida, I will say good. All right. I don't think that many people are going to feel this level of a reduction. I think it's just premiums have gotten so out of reach for people that something like this, I think, is a drop in the pan. But we should all celebrate when we have a reduction of these homeowner insurance premiums that are 3 to 4 to 5x sometimes what you see in other areas of the country. I mean, even more than that on these high-end properties. Our policies in Florida are they're unbelievable. Unbelievable is such a terrible word because it's happening right in front of us. But the insurance, I guess you'd say it this way, if it wasn't for data centers, insurance would probably be right up there as being the top topic in the general election for governor that's going to be coming up between, what is it, Byron Donalds and the other guy. It doesn't really matter. Who is it? Donalds and, oh gosh, what's the other guy's name? That's basically how I feel about it because it doesn't really matter. And you know it's going to be a governor who wins. I'll talk about it in the next segment. Anthony, though, homeowner insurance premiums, they look like they might be at least stabilizing. If you talk to people on the contractor side, they're like, this is a joke. It's just, that's nominal, the amount that premiums will go down. And then if you talk to Democrats over in, the House and the Senate, they're like, hey, this is a win. What do you think about this? Is it enough? Is it a good thing? Or is it just more, I don't know, hyperbole? And this doesn't really make any difference.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make a difference for me, at least, because I don't have a house. Wish I had a house, but
fair.
But maybe I hope in the future.
Any little bit that could put more money back in people's pockets, I'm all about.
Yeah, definitely.
And so we could talk for another hour about about homeowner insurance premiums. We deal with them a lot. We dealt with them in my previous job. I deal with it currently right now and what we do here. I talk about them a lot. Our contractors we work with deal with premiums, and everybody's got a different idea about why premiums go up and down. And so I don't want to dive into that because I can walk right upstairs. I can talk to some people who work with these things every day, and they're going to tell me all the reasons that has nothing to do with insurance carriers. It has to do with other policies. And then if you go talk to carriers, they'll say it's because of frivolous litigation and contractors filing frivolous claims that are out there. Everybody's got a different reason for why premiums got to where they were and why premiums might be falling or at least stabilizing right now. The most important thing to understand is that it's a good thing for Florida homeowners if we can at least get a pause from these things skyrocketing right now. And it feels like every time you get a renewal, it's either they're not going to renew you because of some issue, you got to go shop around and your premiums go up. It seems just so grossly unfair to Florida homeowners. So I'm happy to hear that we've got some policy that where those premiums are at least starting to stabilize. In our final story of the day right here, we've got the governor's race, everybody. The Republican primary is set for August the 18th. And I have to say this, it really looks like Byron Donalds has got a stranglehold on this thing, which I hate. All right. But the latest poll that came out just yesterday, pollster David Wolfson released a memo showing that Byron Donalds at 46%, Jay Collins polling number 2 at 30%, Fishback at 9.8%, and Renner at 5.9%. The poll was conducted on behalf of Collins' campaign, and it also showed Collins leading Donalds among some undecided voters, 40.8% to 30.3%. Independent polls do look differently, all right? It found that Donalds was at 43%, Fishback at 12%, Collins at 11%, Renner at 2%, and 31% were undecided. What we can say right here is this, is that we have Donalds that has a stranglehold right now on the race. And we need Renner to get out of the race quickly so that people can decide where they want to place their vote. Now, Fishback and Collins, they need to get together and they need to decide if one of them is going to go, or they need to decide. If someone is going to beat Donalds, you need one individual to defeat him. When you are splitting the vote between Collins, Fishback, and Renner, it is never going to happen. I've said before on the show, it is clear that Byron Donalds is nothing but a straw man candidate. He is not going to be tough for this state. He is going to do the bidding of national interest, which is why Donald Trump and others have put their name behind him to the level that they have. I am not a Byron Donalds fan because I don't think he has a backbone. I think he pretends to have one because he wants to be looked at as the next Ron DeSantis, but he is not DeSantis. DeSantis was the wall that the national interest bashed against 5 years ago. And I always want people to ask themselves this question. When that happens again and national interests come knocking at Florida's door, who is going to push them back? Do you believe it's going to be Donalds? Do you believe it's going to be Renner? Do you Fishback? Do you believe it's going to be Collins? Who is that person that can stand at that wall and say, no, this is the free state of Florida? And I do not believe that that individual is Donalds. He sits there and he puts up this act, but then I watch him and I can tell it's just not a place where he is comfortable. Right now, I am calling for Fishback, Renner, Collins. You all have to get together and one person has to decide who is going to be the future of Florida to go against Byron Donalds. If it never is decided, if it never happens, then what will happen is that Donalds is going to run away with this thing in the next couple of weeks and none of you have a chance. At least what you can do is all get together and go, all right, fine, you're our guy, but give me a cushiony position or give me a lieutenant governor position within your administration to be able to back off. In my opinion, the person that has the best shot statewide is Jay Collins. Jay Collins has a lieutenant governor position. And if we can rally around Jay Collins, I believe that you'll get the DeSantis endorsement. And with DeSantis's endorsement, it might make this thing competitive going into mid-August. It is the opportunity that we have here to be successful. And if we can do it, if these candidates can put their pride aside and say that all three of us divided have no chance at all against Donalds. But together, if we can decide on one candidate, we can do the best. If we can decide on one candidate, then you can do what is best for the state of Florida. So I'm telling you, Collins, Fishback, Renner, if you truly care about the state, get your parties together and decide which one of you in the last couple of weeks here we're going to galvanize behind and we're going to put up against Donalds so that we don't get him in this general election. We need that. The state of Florida needs it, and I need them to get together and put that pride aside, please. Folks, unfortunately, I was able to get through 5 stories. That's all I got today, man. I have got a packed schedule this afternoon. We got to work. Yeah. All right. If you look at my calendar, it's everywhere right now. I got to get onto this call coming up here. Very much looking forward to it. Next Dimension Construction, just an amazing people over there. I'm going to be talking with them about them and their brand. For now, though, I will see everybody on Monday. Anthony, we got some great footage and stuff coming out later on. Oh, Tiffany Moore Russell? Stay tuned. Next week, let's have a little fun with that story. Have a great weekend, everybody. This is the Patrick Carr Show. We'll see y'all next week.